Hello and welcome. My name is Dagmar Kasp, and I'm the coordinator of the Prague Media Point Conference. And I'm here with Ilda Londo, research coordinator of the Albanian Media Institute. Hello, Ilda.
Hi, Dagmar.
So we're here to talk about an online resource that the Albanian Media Institute launched last year, and it's dedicated to COVID-19 and journalism. Can you tell us in more detail who it's for and what are its goals?
Yes, sure. It's sort of a detour from our original project, as we all were forced to do this, I suppose, now after 9 months almost. But the main aim of this section was twofold. First of all, to help journalists. If you look through it, I mean, it's in Albanian, so it will probably not be very helpful. But it's aimed at Albanian journalists having tips on how to cover COVID and ethical tips, or how to do photojournalism in coronavirus times, or how to report on suicides. And the other part of this online resource is devoted to hearing the voices of journalists themselves. We have had several interviews with journalists who were reporting nonstop from the hospitals or from other health institutions, and also some journalists who got sick and how was their experience, and as a way of connect, because media was one of the few sections that did not stop during the lockdown. They were constantly working along with health system, of course, police, and other basic services. So we thought it would be good to have this kind of connection of the media with the public, and to explain to the public like what were the real difficulties that media was facing too, because they were constantly reporting, trying to inform the public, but also facing the difficulties that this new situation imposed. It's meant as a section to help the journalists themselves, also with some support. We have had some videos done in Facebook for editors, for journalists, like as a means of supporting them spiritually and mentally, let's say, during this time. But it's also a space for reflection, I would say, both for journalists and also for the public. For example, one of the most popular articles that we had in the last month, I think, it was about the reporting of suicides, because unfortunately we have had several suicides in the hospitals of coronavirus patients, and there was a very heated debate on how media should cover and if it should cover this suicide. So it's meant as a section where both worlds meet: media, the public, and the information on coronavirus. Also, apart from this, we, as part of this project, we were trying to directly support the journalists and the media, and we set up a fund where they could apply, and if they want, they could cover COVID-19 stories, or even media literacy initiatives, because that was the original aim of the project. So in a way, some of them combined, and we have had both of them in the same story, both trends in the same story. And it was a way to help journalists in this difficult time, but also to bring to the public, to try to bring some information that was not getting through, or that was not in depth enough in the original media.
I imagine that this initiative is still running. The fund is probably still open. Can you tell us more about that? And how has your effort been received by the journalistic community and the public?
Yes, the fund is still running. We just closed the second call for application, and this time was open not just to media, but also to individual journalists. And we received quite a lot of applications, and we expect there will be some very good stories on COVID-19. because individual journalists were very interested to do more in-depth stories, because in the usual routine they do not have the time or the resources to dedicate. Whereas when they do something special, the stories, I think, are more in-depth and provide an information that normally would be very much broken up and not done in the way that it is being done if you
Mhm,
devote it individually to a particular
mhm,
story for journalists.
mhm,
So yes, we expect it to be good ones, and there has been quite a lot of interest. If we see the sharing of Facebook stories and the articles that we have published and the reactions, I think it's been quite a good one.
mhm. When can we expect articles based on this call?
We expect them to start working on it in December, maybe mid-December, and until the end of February and mid-March. So
Mhm, mhm,
hopefully until we have had the most of this pandemic time. So
mhm.
and there will be some hope in the horizon. So
Great.
that's the idea, more or less.
And to conclude, are you able to share any best practices that sort of arose from this project? Can you share that with us?
Well, best practices. I think the lesson that we learn is that if you support individual journalists who are talented, who are committed to doing their job correctly, I think that there will be some very good information and some very good public awareness on what's going on. And something else that is not necessarily related to this project, but of the challenges and difficulties that journalists face in Albania, is that journalists who keep doing their work with insistence will eventually draw a good story,
Mhm,
and or even if they do not have a good story, at least they will impose some pressure on the authorities, because one of the main challenges that journalists have had during this time, for example, has been the lack of transparency of state institutions, at least some health institutions. So there has been a lot of insistence. There's been a lot of work doing fact checking from fact checking organizations or from individual journalists. So I think just insistence on doing your job.
mhm.
That's the lesson we always learn.
Thank you very much, Ilda. This is all the time we have for, but I would like to encourage everybody to reach out to you if they have any questions through your conference profile. Again, thank you for being here.
For inviting me.
And everybody else, enjoy the conference.